Hey guys, welcome back to Keyless Entry, and today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite cars as far as EVs on the market right now. And it's not the most popular, but I will tell you right now, it does have a lot of interesting features, some unique quirks, and things that really make you think, why did they do that? Today we're talking about the Volkswagen ID 4. Now, for those of you who don't know, Volkswagen has been making the ID 4 since 2021. That was the debut year that it brought it to the US. I think it was actually out in Europe around 2020, late 2020. And I can tell you right now, it did come out at a time that a lot of people didn't know was a vehicle that was designed specifically for the US market. If you want to ask a lot of people, they will tell you this particular vehicle, because Americans, need and want for having a, let's just call it what it is. We want a car that's big, right? We want an SUV. We want a car that stands out, and that is something that we can 100% utilize in a lot of different ways. So I'm actually going to just do a quick review over the car itself. We'll do a quick driving impression of a couple features, but I won't do a full review until later on, once I have a little bit more time with the vehicle itself. But today we're looking at the pure gray ID 4 Pro S all-wheel drive. So right off the back, if we start looking at the vehicle from behind, you're going to notice that the unique badge is actually ID 4 is actually in white, right? This is one of the things that stand out to a lot of people, because most vehicles in this size or this type of quality or functionality, when it becomes an SUV, the badging is usually in silver or white. It's not normally in a white font. Going straight into it, right into the trunk area, you do have a power lift gate that is adjustable. We have your privacy cover here that if you need to cover all your belongings in the back, that's standard. There's no options for that. That's the one good thing about it. The seats are a 60-40 split with a center pass-through. You do have some good unique storage on the sides here, which allows you to store some bins. Like this is the cargo blocks for the mat here that you see. And then this is also the front license plate protector. And more than likely there is a, normally give you a travel assist kit or emergency kit that's in there. Now as I open this up, you're gonna see that there is a lower floor here, which allows me to take this top piece right here and remove it and drop it down roughly about 3 inches to give me a little bit more room back here. And then a place that you can put your charging cable, and you have a can of fixed flat down there for your, instead of having a spare tire, you have that in there. So you have those tools kind of ready for you to use in the event of a tire, and a place for you to store all of your electrical charging cables that you might need for a road trip. You do have LED backlights on both sides, and also a 12-volt power, which is pretty nice. It's rear back. On the back here, we're going to talk about the LED lights. These are full LED, and one thing about the ID 4 is every single model has standard LEDs across the board, which is really nice. You also have the rear windshield wiper here. Probably not the place that everyone wants it to be, but I will tell you honestly, it could be up under the spoiler. It'll be fine if you did that as well. Moving around to the back, you have your reflectors that are pointing on both sides. Of course, this one is designed to have a tow rating. And I'll put the tow rating on the screen. So it does have a tow kit because it's an all-wheel drive. 295 horsepower, and I believe it's 320 pound-feet of torque. If I am wrong, I'll put that up here as well. Your charger door, you know, you have your standard J1772 plug, plus you also have the ability to do DC fast charging, and that DC fast charging can go up to 170 kilowatts, which is pretty good when it comes to charging really fast on the road. Your charging LED indicator here, and it does give you a description of what's each one of those lights are going to do, from white all the way to green, green blinking to solid green when it's fully charged. So coming around to the side, one thing I always say has always been unique to Volkswagen is they typically have a unique character line that goes across the entire side of the car, and that's almost on every single model that I've ever seen them create, and it does give it a distinctive look. And then of course, coming into the rear side of the car, you can kind of see you have your inserts here for your rear passengers. These are soft touch material here. This is a little bit more of a harder plastic. And then same thing down here at the bottom, speaker vents. And then going inside, you will see that there's plenty of room for 3 passengers. I think honestly, sitting back here, I'm 5'9", so me sitting behind myself, I have plenty of room. That's one good thing about that. And then of course, inside the center, you have your center vents and USB-C and a small cubby pocket that you can utilize. You do have your rear cup holders, and like I said, your pass-through in the center, which allows you to, you know, toss some things in the back, you know, without anyone knowing that you have something in there. Great for women with purses that want to store something while you're traveling, and you don't have to worry about someone seeing what you're putting in the trunk. Behind both passenger and driver seat, you have a cell phone pocket, and you also have a map pocket on both sides, which is very good because a lot of cars don't give it to you on both sides. They may give you on the passenger side just a map pocket. But unique to Volkswagen, they've been, I think, one of a couple models of manufacturers that actually offer a cell phone pocket on the back seat of their vehicles. Now, I'm not going to go inside just yet. I want to bring up to the front. We have your Pro S badge, and you can see it's the Pro S all-wheel drive. You have your integrated turn signals into your mirrors here, color-coded mirror caps, which look really good on this model. Coming around to that same fender, you have this design. Another thing that's very unique is you have some very unique character lines on the hood, which stand out to me a lot. Then you have the ID lights, IQ lights, excuse me, and basically this is illuminated. This is an illuminated LED lamp here, which is also your turn signal. And then of course you have your LED projector bulbs, and also you can kind of see it in there, but there is a cornering light and also your high beams. The cornering light comes on whenever you have bad weather, so you can use those, but also they work whenever you're turning to give you better visibility when you're driving. You have functional air vents down here at the bottom of the bumper. I do love the way that this look at the bottom here has a gloss trim now versus the matte finish that you would have found on the 21 and 22 models. This is an LED light bar that goes across. It also illuminates the badge in the front and in the rear. The rear illuminates in red and the front illuminates in white. You have your front parking sensors. There was also rear parking sensors there as well. There are sensors behind the VW badge along with a camera system that's built into the windshield, which will help you with the, IQ drive system, which is a smart drive system that allows you to utilize a very intuitive and I would say unique, not necessarily unique, it is a very intuitive and simple system for cruise control with adaptive cruise control, and it does work really well. I'm very impressed with it. I have it on my car and it does pretty good even though my car is not an EV. Your standard on all S models, excuse me, you have your integrated moonroof. It's not a sunroof, so it doesn't open, so it is a moonroof, but it's a massive panel moonroof, which looks really good at night. A little Volkswagen badge here inside the view pillar on the front driver and passenger doors. Now here's the unique thing about opening the doors up. There is not a pull handle. There's actually a little lever switch in here. You just kind of pinch it and it opens up. Coming into the driver's seat, we're going to look at one of the most very unique and quirky things about the ID4, and of course you do have some side molding here. There's the illumination for your alarm. This is also on the back of the mirror right here. That is actually your blind spot monitoring, and it's standard on both sides. It came from the Audi system, so it actually looks really nice. Instead of having it in the mirror integrated, it's actually integrated right here, which to me, honestly, is better in your visual path. The door handle, when you pull it, that's it. You don't have to do anything else. It's an electronic door handle, so in the emergencies that the electrical system stops working, power off, whatever, then you pull it fully manually and it will unlock. Same thing for the outside door. You can then pull down the door handle and it will pop open. You have your same inserts here with the contrast stitching in the traditional Volkswagen 3 stripes. I almost feel like they're following Adidas a little bit. And then when you go around here, you have your trunk release. And then this is the most controversial part in this car, other than one other area, and we'll talk about that in a second, and that is your 4 window system. I have 2 buttons here for the 2 front windows. Well, I got 4 windows on this car, as you can kind of see. So how do I unlock or roll down those rear windows? I have to tap the rear button here, and then it allows me to roll down those windows. So express down for the driver, express up, that's for all 4 windows. But then if I tap rear, I bring down that window for the rear passenger and bring it back up. Now here's another trick that a lot of people may not know about. If you press and hold this, now I can express window all 4 windows. Very easy for you to air out the car quickly, but it is a very unique thing, and I can tell you a lot of people don't like it. I'm a little indifferent about it. I don't have one yet, so I can't say I can't live with it if I had it. The pockets right here in the door pockets are very big, pretty large. You can put just about anything you want in here. On your seats, you have full memory seats on both driver and passenger. They do also have a air cushion massaging seat function, which work really well on your back. Great for long trips. You also have your 8-way power driver seat and 8-way power passenger seat. Once again, something that a lot of cars don't automatically give you. So on the steering wheel, this is another controversial thing because this is a touch sensitive steering wheel. A lot of people don't like it just because if you drive and you have a forceful way, you can adjust things that you may not want to adjust. And I get that, I really do, I understand that. Like I said, I don't functionally have to deal with it right now because I don't own one. And my particular Tiguan R, that was an option that they actually, unfortunately, deleted off of the car. So I don't have one of these steering wheels, so I can really give you my good gripes or bad gripes about it. However, I do see functionality that's really nice because it allows you to swipe things over for a view. As you can see, I swipe it over, and this is for the adaptive cruise control. And then you can see the battery percentage, plus the distance in miles that you have available. Then as you keep looking over to the right, you see a quick glance of how many miles total, how many miles per kilowatt. If I swipe one more time to the left, I now get the average time drive and average speed since start. Swipe one more time. If I have a route in the system, in the built-in navigation system, you'll see route guidance right here as well. So this is your stock for changing. So I have D, which is drive. B is regenerative braking, but it doesn't come to a complete stop. If I go down to the middle, that's neutral. Go all the way back to the back, that's reverse. And speaking of reverse, that brings you into the camera system. And you can actually see that I actually have your guidelines, so I can actually see when I make my turns, and it actually does give me a guide here as well. There's also auto parking feature built in here as well that I can turn on just by tapping on here, and it will look for spaces for me to park, whether it be parallel or perpendicular, it doesn't matter. All right, so going back here over to the stock, pushing in on this side will put me in park, and you can hear that little tone let me know I'm in park as well. You have your mirror right here. So this is your, I call it a waterfall mirror, but it's basically a frameless mirror, built-in HomeLink, and also works with HomeLink Connect, which has a 4-year subscription if I remember, and that allows you to connect through Bluetooth to adapt and operate your home garage through the HomeLink Connect system. Works out really well. You have your illuminated map lights, which are touch on, touch off. And also they are set up to work with the door when I open and close them. I can hit all lights, and there are 4 lights total. There's 2 in the rear and 2 up front for your map lights. Then also you have your passenger airbag settings as well. Let you know if it's on or not. You also have your auto off with the door. You can turn that on and off. Then you have your 3 buttons, one for information, one for maintenance, and then the other one up here, which is your SOS. And that is all part of the My VW app, which is also used to be known as CarNet. And of course, we can't forget our massive panel glass roof. As I just swipe to open, I'll just turn it around and you guys can see how big and massive that is. All right, as we look at this guy moving forward, now you can already see I've actually have built-in wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is really nice. So on the center stack, that gives you a 12.3-inch screen. And then of course you have your secondary most controversial, or I should say third most controversial thing about this is that everything on the screen is all touch. There is no physical buttons whatsoever. Some people love it, some people hate it. I personally find it okay. I think it's progressive. So parking menu, I have my climate menu here. We'll talk about this really quickly in a second. We have your assist menu. I like this a lot. It gives you the ability to do everything in a menu view, but for a lot of people, it's a lot of reading and not understanding. So they give you a visual view. Hey, do I want to look at the street signs? I tap the street signs. I can turn on speed alert. So if I pass a street sign that says I'm supposed to be doing 35 and I'm doing 45, it'll alert me, let me know to slow down. If I am looking at my blind spot monitoring, I can turn that on, lane keep assist. I can adjust those things. My front collision warning, adaptive cruise control, I can change those as well. Very easy for you to kind of navigate around. Last mode right here is going to be your quick car driving modes. You have Eco, Comfort, Sport, Traction, and Custom. Personally, I do like using, Comfort and Sport. Everyone likes to get a little bit of speed every now and then. And then if I tap right here on this heated seat side, I actually have the ability to go back to my climate control. Since we're in here, let's talk about the climate and the 3 tabs up top. Smart Climate allows me to adjust things with a quick tap. If my feet are cold, I can just tap feet cold. If I need to clear my windshield because it's a little bit misty and foggy, I hit clear view, and so on. If I go to the classic climate, I have all my classic controls that you normally would see with rotary dials or push buttons at the bottom or some other climate menu. All of them right here on the screen, everything from your sync, your eco, heated seats, heated steering wheel, all those live right here. The last one is air care. And air care allows me to do a purification of the air. Start smelling something a little bit funny, yeah, you push that little button right here and it actually goes through a quick air clear system. You'll get this little animation that pops up. Now, the other part of this that's kind of controversial is the fact that the screen beautifully lit. However, on the buttons, here, they're not. So the sliders here, the taps, those are not lit up at all. A little quick tap or tip for someone who may have an ID4 didn't know this. If let's say you're on this menu here and you want to get to your heated seats real quick, you don't have to tap that to turn them on. You can just tap 2 fingers and it turns on your heated seats really quickly. And then you just tap again to turn it off. So really quick tip if you didn't know that already. Down here at the bottom, you got your 4 vents, just one on the driver's left, one on the passenger's right, and the 2 center, plus the 2 in the rear. Helps keep the car nice and cool. Going through this menu really quickly, I am going to just go through 3 things that I think are great standouts. The first one is the obvious one. We know about charging. So whenever you go to do charging on an ID4 or any EV, you really want to know what is your charging range. As you can see, the battery pack is sitting at 91%, 230 miles of available range. It's recommended that you do 80% charging, and why is that? It just helps prolong the battery's life overall. Next up on this menu, I've already showed pretty much CarPlay already, but the next one is the ambient lighting. Why do people like ambient lighting? It's a mood driver. It just gives you something else to kind of stand out and say, hey, I love my car because it gives me this extra feel. You have about 5 different presets. Infinity gives you more of a ambient mood there. Eternity, I think, is more pleasant. Desire is more blue. Euphoria has a reddish bluish tint to it. It actually, I think, is all red for the most part. And then Vitality runs in yellow. But if you don't want to deal with all that, you can actually just tap on custom. And in custom, I can go up here and create my own custom mood. So if I want to have my top color be, let's say, purple, and then my bottom color be green, I can do purple and green. If I wanted to support Ukraine, I could go blue and yellow. And there we go. So I can always adjust the brightness here based off of the levels. So if I wanted the doors to be not as strong and powerful as I have on the dash and below the actual seating area, I can do that. Swiping down from the top on any menu brings you to a quick menu. This is fully customizable. I can also have notifications, so if it tells me things about my battery or something else, it's easy for me to find out what I need to fix. All right, so the rest of the interior real quick, you actually have a nice center console here with 2 cup holders. On this model, they're now fixed. They no longer come out and adjust around like the 21 and 22s do. And then of course your wireless charging has moved to under here. You have 2 USB-C ports right here as well, which allows you to connect your devices really quickly if you don't want to use wireless charging. And then what's new here, you have now a glove box center console, which you didn't have in the last one. You had more of like a little sliding tray box. But this is more Americanized. This is what Americans like more. We go into the glove box. It's very straightforward, simple. And since we're in here, let's look at the window sticker of this guy and see how much we're talking about. All right, so looking at this, and let's hope that everything focuses in okay. You're talking about a 2023 ID4 all-wheel drive Pro S, pure gray exterior with gray leather Galaxy leatherette interior. This is the 82 kilowatt battery on the SK on option components. So it's the newest battery type, which gives you that faster charging rate. And the manufacturer suggested retail price is $52,795. The only options that we have on here are the automatic dimming mirror and then the all-weather mats, which are already in place on the vehicle itself. So once again, guys, I want to thank you for joining me on another episode of Keyless Entry and my first look at the Volkswagen all-wheel drive ID4 Pro S. And I hope to continue to bring you more vehicles like this. I am working with Steve White Automotive Group here in Greenville, South Carolina. They have been excellent to work with. If you're in the mood or you are looking for a new Volkswagen vehicle, please come by, check them out, ask for Ron, and he'll be glad to help you out and get you into your next or your first Volkswagen ID4. All right, we're gonna try a quick 0 to 60 test while I got some open lane here. 3, 2, 1.